taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
Well, I guess on that note, how much have you been able to learn about JJ and Chase as they, kind of get this time in big league camp?
Both of them are really interesting personalities, man. Like, they carry themselves well. They're calm. Even in hearing them speak today, like, they put a lot of thought into it, which is something you want to see. Like, are you going to wing it? Or are you going to actually put some thought into it? Or are you going to memorize some facts? And they both did a really nice job with that, So their personalities so far have been super professional, so especially for their age.
With
cool.
Just kind of the on-the-field aspects, not just with them, but like just the young pitchers and catchers in camp as you guys go through lives and they get looks against like some major leaguers. I mean, how valuable is that for them?
Yeah, those are the things you remember, man. You want to see how you measure up against arms that are already up there, and it's a great opportunity for that. They'll get plenty of at-bats here in a couple days in order to kind of showcase what they're all about, and that'll be a completely new experience. And so, yeah.
What are some
so
things,
far they've handled it well, though.
What are some things you like or you want from David, or you want to offer David as he's here?
More than anything, just access, like be accessible to the players. There's even in talking to him yesterday, man, there's some experiences that he can speak to that others can't, and specifically to doing it in St. Louis. And I want veteran, and this is what I told our guys, man, veteran, rookie, it doesn't matter where you are in your career, there's a lot to learn from. And having Ozzy here and having Freeze here and having some of the other guys that'll come through during camp. So to take advantage of it. Because he can speak to certain things when it comes to pressure and just an entire city counting on you day in, day out, and what that feels like, and how to navigate that and process that type of pressure. That guys can take a lot from that.
I hope I asked this right. I'll give it a try. Well, if I ask you right, you will. Ozzy's a Hall of Famer. And I mean, is among the immortals in the game, right? Has all the trophies in it. Is there an accessibility to David and his stardom that is different than?
Yeah, what you really want to do is just allow a different array of players to come through, because some guys will connect more with David's story and how he articulates kind of his path to the big leagues and his struggles in the big leagues and how he handled pressure, and some guys will take a completely different message out of what Ozzy brings to the table. So you just want to kind of make these guys available and allow the players to not be intimidated by seeing them walking around, but actually go ask questions, go ask them about their story. Because once you do, it's one after another after another. I enjoy the heck out of it, I'll tell you that.
We've seen a growth with Helsley. He talked about, I'm the guy scrapping, just trying to make it in the big leagues. Then I hit it pretty good, and then I get hurt the next year. And last year he's the best closer in baseball, and now he's 30, and he's trying to take on more of a ownership, more of a leadership role. Have you seen him?
Yeah, and I think that happens naturally, right? When you're in and out of injury, it's hard to take that type of role. And then when you can have a year like the one he had last year, one, the game starts to slow down a little bit for you because you have more confidence, and that breeds just a level of like slowness. But yeah, you're starting to see that with a couple of our guys, where another year under their belt, they can actually slow the game down enough to see what else is out there, and not just themselves. And that's kind of where Helsley's at in his career right now.
He said you moved the goalpost. All right, I did it 1 year. Can I do it 2 years in a row? Is that maybe the next progression to him to show that he can back it up and do it again?
I think that's what this industry asks every time, right? Once you show that you can do something, the world says, do it again. So that's why the big leagues is the big leagues. Yeah.
What grade would you give his mustache, by the way?
There's been a lot of growth there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'd rather not grade it. We'll see how long it lasts. Yeah.
You guys are getting. Go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. With the games about to start, how do you see your outfield position shaking out? How are you going to split that time to ensure that you have the best possible decision on what is a crowded outfield?
Yeah, there'll be
tonight?
a decent amount of innings for all those guys. So you'll see Siani in center, you'll see Vick in center, you'll see Newton left, Walker in right, Newton center. They'll interchangeable. I mean, I'm you got plenty of innings to get those guys what they need out there and figure out what makes the most sense, and then hopefully we stay healthy. And as games start to where you're playing more innings as you get later, that's where it's tougher to kind of move guys in and out. But yeah, that's the way it's shaping out right now.
Definitely not suggesting that the entire roster is not a competition, but how serious and how serious is that center field competition? How difficult is that going to be for those three guys you just listed?
I don't see it as difficult as much as it's a great opportunity, and then we'll have to make the best decision on how that impacts other positions. And there's no secret to it, right? Like Nolan at third, it creates a different dynamic in who plays second in the outfield and how you kind of navigate all of that. So yeah, as we get further into camp, I think it'll provide a decent amount of clarity. As we sit here today, there's a lot of innings to give guys an opportunity to see where they're at.
When you talk about Nolan Gorman in particular, he said he spent like every single day with the new hitting coach, Brant Brown, in Arizona, and he's definitely one of those guys who has found his voice. Can you talk about what you've seen from him now and what you hope for?
There's a quiet confidence to him, and regardless of how it's going, there's stretches where he's punching out and he's not feeling good, there's still a steadiness to his game that I really admire. He doesn't panic, he knows himself, and there's times where he knows, like, I just have to continue to make adjustments, and it's taken longer than I wanted to. This offseason was incredible for him. I keep getting asked, like, who are you excited to see? A combination of guys, but he's definitely at the top of that list just because I just think he's a really talented player, and there's a lot in the tank there when it comes to those power numbers. And he's worked hard with Brant all offseason. Like, when you say every day, it was every day. It was a lot, and I think we're going to see a really, really good version of him.
Along those lines, this is an optimistic topic here. A year ago, I know Goldschmidt's not on the team this year, but a year ago, we're like, man, if the Cardinals hit, if these guys all rise to their ceiling, they could be a great hitting team. Some guys didn't have their best years last year, but it's still the same human beings. They're here now with new coach, new outlook. So I assume there's some optimism, like, hey, if they all, just like last year, same guys, maybe they could all be.
Yeah, we're super optimistic and kind of hoping for exactly that. When you look at the lineup, you're hoping a Walker takes another step in the right direction. Donovan continues to improve on his game. Mason takes a step in the right direction and builds on what he did last year, which was a lot of fun to watch. Like Herrera behind the plate, like you have different guys. Burleson, like, he starts controlling the strike zone and offering up pitches he can do damage with. We can see a better version of him. Newbar, one, staying healthy, but two, like, high upside, right? So when you talk about youth, we have a lot of it, and we're wanting them to all take a step in the right direction. Brant, I can't speak. I mean, this dude's been awesome specifically for this group. So, yeah, our hope is that we see exactly that.
So you mentioned the youth on this team. Does that mean they'll stick around and watch the games more compared to teams where you may have more veterans after 2 at-bats, 3 at-bats they may go?
Yeah, usually you have a certain amount of time in the big leagues that you set for guys that can lead up to the 5th. We don't have many of those right now.
This year,
So, no, and the thing is, they're hungry to understand the game better too. So even if you gave them the option, the majority of them would want to stick around and continue to look for opportunities where they can learn. So, yeah.
You guys are getting measured off for the ABS today. How much of that is part of your meetings or anything when you get up to games here the next couple of days? Is it at all, or is it just...
Yeah, no, it definitely plays into it, and you create a strategy for it. So we'll meet on that as we get closer to the games, but yeah.
You have a strong opinion on, like, when you guys are pitching, on whether pitchers should be going or do you leave it to catchers? Do you have thoughts about that kind of thing?
Yeah, we've given it thought. We've talked about it as a staff, and we'll kind of have that meeting with the players here the day before. Yeah.
I apologize for this. Was there significance to Fetty being the first starter of spring, or just kind of the way things fell out?
The way we kind of mapped it out when we got here. Yeah.
Did he want an extra one? Did he want an extra start, or did he do a backfield one or something else?
Betty?
Yeah.
It's just when you look at where everybody was at, it made the most sense for it to be scheduled the way it's currently scheduled. Yeah.
Following up on something you talked about yesterday with Brown and coaching situationally, you talked about the shift over the last few months. What does that look like specifically when coaching through situations that maybe is different now than it was before?
What do you mean?
Yesterday specifically, we were talking about Brant Brown and working with guys from a situational standpoint, and you made the comment it's a little bit different than, because of the shift in the organization over the last few months. Just what does that look like? How does it look different?
I wouldn't say shift in the organization over the last few months as much as just Brant's emphasis on what guys take a specific player and they just, with runners in scoring position, look very different as far as their swing decisions, how aggressive they are passive, what they're swinging at, and he's been able to kind of drill down on those guys as to their approach specific to situation, specific to count. So that's been really good for these guys to sit down as soon as the workouts are over. 2 to 3 guys, one at a time, are going and having their individual meetings and really understanding kind of what do I do well, where's the low-hanging fruit from an approach standpoint, and that's been helpful. Yeah.
You've told us the first 3 starters. Can you tell us 4 and 5 yet?
I gave you 3. We haven't even thrown pitch 1.
I'm saying 4 and 5.
Yeah.
The trip.
Who's behind Betty on Saturday?
Miles.
No,
she's asking inning 3, but all the way through. I'll go in and look at kind of all 9.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you.